Hi guys, welcome back to INF Gay. Today we are going to talk about Aries. Before we get started, comment, like, and subscribe, and let's do this. I was reading up on Aries, and I thought, I have a lot of thoughts on Aries. In my astrology journey, so at one point in my life, I noticed all of my friends have their birthdays next to each other. And around that time, I started to watch my first zodiac content, and all of my friends were cancers. So cancers have been such, quantitatively, there have been so many cancers in my life. After cancers, the next zodiac sign that I notice as being super prevalent or frequent in my life is Aries. So without further ado, we're going to talk about Aries. So Aries is the first zodiac sign. Aries energy is related, it's a fire sign, it's related to birth, spring, March 21st to April 21st. That's like the spring solstice or the whatever. And so it's related to new life, flowers blooming. It's a very fast energy. Aries are both conformist and individualistic. They are sharp-witted enough and smart enough to talk to all kinds of people. If you think of a young child, or even think of a baby or a toddler, they are conforming to their surroundings, but they're also very individual, very much themselves, because I guess they have not fully assimilated yet. But that's just kind of like a flavor, right? I'm not saying that Aries are like babies. I'm just saying. Aries are very self-promoting. I know myself being a Capricorn, I don't know if the Capricorn-Aries relationship is really analyzed. I don't know why I have so many Aries in my life, but I do. I always have, since young childhood, a lot of Aries, and still do. Sometimes, Capricorn-Aries relationship that I experience is, I know I'm super boring. I've always felt boring. I have never felt exciting. Aries always talk about it. Who's the guy? Is it Benito Skinner? Has the zodiac videos, and he talks about how Aries are concerned with being perceived as bored. They can perceive situations as boring. They're very much asking themselves the question, is this fun or is this boring? That can be a part of the Aries experience. So Aries are hilarious and love to laugh. A lot of people talk about how positive they are, whereas Aries, I actually find them smiling and telling jokes and actually laughing, right? So there's, everybody in our society, everybody must be positive according to whatever, but there are people actually being positive, right? So Aries manifest linearly. They back up their promises. Their actions tend to match what they declare. Not all the time, obviously, and there's so many levels to that statement. But Aries, when you think of zodiac, it's an impression you get, and it's a trend you see amongst a group of the zodiac signs. So this Aries, I could say, backs up what they say in this area, but not in this area, and the next Aries tends to back up what they say, and then the next Aries maybe backs up a few things they say, right? So it's it depends on the person and a million other things, but just they tend to go for what they say they're going to go for. Their actions tend to manifest. If they're not doing it, they're not telling people they're going to do it. It's kind of they don't make up, they don't tell you they're a cook and then turns out they're a programmer, right? I don't know, that's how I feel around Aries. To learn more about Aries, or to better understand Aries, I use Sailor Mars from Sailor Moon as an example. She's very action-oriented. Aries, like Sailor Mars, are multifaceted and multi-talented. Sailor Mars works as a shrine maiden, and she easily attains local fame multiple times throughout Sailor Moon. Aries are attention getters. They receive attention. They naturally, to me, it's natural for them. It seems like a natural process. Aries, people get, when it comes to like taking action, people get overwhelmed because like when they take action, they open themselves up to judgment. Aries seem able to shoulder like the burden of, if I take this action, I'm going to be open to judgment. And Aries tend to have haters, because they are, I mean, I was gonna, the word I was gonna say was fabulous, and I thought that sounds ridiculous. But Aries really are like, they're out doing things. They're out doing the thing, right? So yeah. Um, yes. So an example in Sailor Moon, there's a sewing episode in season 1 of Sailor Moon where Sailor Mars seeks out a sewing teacher. She is very proactive in manifesting the project that she is going after. I think she goes and she wins a certain ticket to enter the sewing contest, and then she seeks out Usagi's mom to do the sewing contest, and then she still ends up attending the sewing contest, and even though she didn't have the ability to do it. See how like she set out to conquer, to achieve that thing. And I think Sailor Mars, like in my experience with Aries, is typically Aries females. Probably Aries males are like a little different. Okay, now the key, the my favorite part about Aries that Sailor Mars really captures is that she is psychic. Why is this important to Aries? Because she's psychic since the beginning of the series, and she does psychic work. And Sailor Moon is a magical show, so like it makes sense. It's not a big deal that she's psychic, but she does psychic work in the 5th season as well. And it's so awesome that Sailor Mars is not someone who presents herself as psychic. She presents herself as short fused, which not all Aries are. We're going to get to that in a minute. She presents herself as short fused, action oriented, and ambitious, and smart and quick witted, and able to talk to multiple people. Aries are huge self promoters, naturally entrepreneurial, talk to a lot of people. And so she presents herself, Sailor Mars presents herself as like a girly girl, like ditzy, probably into like nails and into boys and into like clothes, and just like Sailor Mars is very pretty. Just like she presents herself as girly girl, probably maybe superficial, definitely smart, but she doesn't present herself as psychic. When you think of psychic, what do you think? You think of that person in like the special getup with the crystal ball, and they are so like, oh, your ancestors. Sailor Mars is not like that at all. And so this to me is very Aries, very like concerned with being sharp-witted, and like Britney Spears a little bit. I know Britney Spears is a Sagittarius, but like that sort of flavor, the like blonde, not blonde, but like that blonde, pretty, Britney Spears music is like upbeat, and it gets your energy going, and it's positive. That's Aries. So to have all that, but they are psychic. They just are. That's the thing about Sailor Mars. It's so integral to her identity, yet her personality, is completely, does not portray that. You wouldn't know by talking to her that she's psychic. You wouldn't guess that. You wouldn't think that. But she so is. Yeah, so I love the contrast between an Aries ability to read people and their emotional intelligence and their just natural snappiness. I love that. And it creates an interesting switch up. It's like, oh, this person is multifaceted. Sailor Mars's multifacetedness is further accentuated by her in season 2. She has an episode where she is she's a pop star, and she writes all of these she's not a pop star, but she like takes over the school festival, and she performs a bunch of songs, and all of the songs she performs are about like compassion and love and her inner feelings. Now mind you, Sailor Moon is a show geared towards girls or women, and it is about analyzing like love addiction and consumerism and psychological concepts, right? So it makes sense that Sailor Mars would do a bunch of like lovey-dovey songs. But so Sailor Mars, who is so that Britney Spears upbeat, her personality is like a Britney Spears song, but she comes out and she does all of these um, lovey-dovey songs, and it shows her writing the song, and it shows her sitting at the piano composing, right? So we have Sailor Mars, who Shrine Maiden by day. She's the only other character in Sailor Moon who's also a competent student. Sailor Jupiter, Sailor Venus, and Sailor Moon are all like kind of they all like need extra help from another character in the story. But anyway, this is getting into Sailor Moon. But Sailor Mars is like super smart, and so she's also psychic, and she's also musical, and yes, it's just really cool. Yeah, so I love that switch up. Now, moving on from, I guess, Sailor Mars, I'm wondering, is there anything else to talk about with her? Anyway, so now we're going to talk about Aries Rage. Aries can have a short fuse, but they don't have to have a short fuse. So I've, like, knowing a lot of Aries, I've met a few with really short fuses and a lot without short fuses. You know, it's not necessary. If you look at the opposite of Aries, it is Libra. Libra is the planet Venus. Venus is so glittery and beautiful, and I think it's the brightest object compared to Earth in the night sky. But when you get close to Venus, there's a ton of volcanoes. Humans can't really envision ourselves living there, can we? Mars, on the other hand, is red. You know, that's a color of like war and stuff. And its moons are Phobos and Deimos, so 2 moons. Libra has no moon. But when you actually get to Mars, it is like a peaceful, it's the most peaceful planet outside of Earth in our solar system. So, yes, this is my opinions on Aries. Having so many Aries friends, they tend to have rich emotional worlds, or Aries females, I guess, because I mean most like all my friends are like girls. But yes. So Aries are multifaceted. They're deep. They are snappy and sassy when they need to be, and they're also very emotionally intelligent. They make natural therapists. I guess you could argue every zodiac sign is a natural therapist. But anyways, I hope y'all like this video. Thanks.